A massive game, Delhi against Mumbai. Let's preview it. And Whirlpool presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout powered by Dell. Joining me shortly, Moody Agarkar and Tom Moody. All right, gentlemen, let's get straight into it. Ajit, first up, we said it before, we're saying it again. Delhi should bring back Prithvi Shaw for Ajinkya Rahane.
Yeah, they should have done it the last game. I don't know now whether they're stuck because of playing Rahane that previous game. Now they should. It's a no-brainer really. And as tough as it is on Rahane, there is no real comparison between the two. Shaw still got a few innings in this competition. Rahane, you can see, hasn't had a lot of cricket behind him and does look a bit out of sorts. Prithvi Shaw, if he plays and plays well, will make a huge impact on the game. So I'm a bit surprised that you could understand a game or so, but more than that, I think Delhi have stretched their luck a bit too much.
Tom, they've lost 3 on the trot. They must win one of these, especially this one. Would you bring back Shaw?
Yeah, look, to me, it's a very simple yes. It's, surprising that he hasn't come back earlier. He's clearly, the perfect player to complement Shikhar Dhawan. He's a shot maker, and the combination doesn't suit when you have both Shikhar Dhawan and Ajinkya Rahane together.
All right, let's go to our next one. We're saying, Tom, that Delhi need to keep Iyer and Pant at 3 and 4 respectively. They did change things around in that big chase against the Sunrisers.
Yeah, and it always does surprise me when, there are those dramatic changes when there's, when it's a 50-50 call. If it makes a big difference, yes, do consider making change. But when you've got Iyer and Pant, as your 3 and 4, they're both dynamic players, and they can sort of hit that 5th gear quickly if it's necessary. But to me, you've got to back your quality. Try to keep that consistency in your top 6, so everyone's very familiar with their roles. To me, you're rolling the dice by throwing someone up front just in the hope that they can pull out a miracle.
Ajit?
Yeah, it was a bit strange last game. Just to change everything, I don't really know, because these guys are the players who've done well for you, you've trusted before, or they can play a certain. Having said that, these two have to improve their form as well. For some reason, they seem to have lost a bit of rhythm with their batting. Rishabh Pant in particular, so is Shreyas Iyer. They just seem to be playing a different role. Maybe let the instincts take over. Both are great shot makers. That's brought Delhi success. So why would you go away from it?
Yep. Let's go to our next point. We're saying, Ajit, that Mumbai, entering this game, knowing that they've secured a playoff spot, can afford to rest Jasprit Bumrah. Your thoughts?
Yes and no. Sometimes you ask the player as well that if he's carrying a little bit of tiredness, fatigue, doesn't look like every time Bumrah plays. I'm not quite sure. They'll still want to try and win, keep pressure on Delhi, not knock Delhi out, but keep them on 14. It could get a bit tricky for them if the other results don't go their way. So all those things considered, I think Mumbai would still want to play the best 11. There's another game after that where they could perhaps consider, but if he's not feeling any sort of fatigue or any niggles that he's carrying, I don't see any reason why they would do that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think maybe the last game in the league stage is the game to rest Bumrah. But most cricketers, whether they're batsmen or bowlers, are very reluctant to sit on the sidelines just to rest for the sake of resting. Bumrah, if he's fit, feeling good about his game, I'm sure he'd be desperate to play and continue to build on the 20 wickets he's already taken.
All right, let's focus on Delhi's personnel changes with the ball. Tom, we're saying they should consider Harshal Patel for Tushar Deshpande, who's not quite firing with the ball in terms of wickets.
Yeah, look, I mentioned this in the last game they played. I felt that Harshal Patel should play. I just feel that he provides them with a little bit more of a difference with the variety he brings, the change of pace he brings. And, he's had some good success in the past, not so much in the recent past, but certainly in previous IPL seasons. So he'd be someone I'd be definitely leaning on.
Tushar Deshpande started well, Ajit, in that game against Rajasthan. He's now gone 3 games wicketless. Would you make a change?
Yeah, I said Tushar Deshpande last game, but I think they've got to look at that seriously. They're playing in Dubai as well. Who knows, the pitch might hold up a little bit. So yeah, I mean, Harshal Patel's a more experienced guy, if you like, to have coming behind Nokia and Rabada. But they've got to get the 11 right. I think Harshal Patel for me does make the 11 ahead of Tushar this next game.
All right, and finally, R. Ashwin has had a couple of tough games. Ajit, we're saying that he'll probably be bowling to Ishan Kishan and Quinton de Kock in the power play.
Yeah, I'm sure there would be a serious case of him doing that. He's bowled well before. It's such a long tournament that you are bound to have a few tough games. It's how you bounce back. I think there's no shortage of confidence when it comes to Ashwin. So I don't think he'd be thinking that he's had a tough game. Delhi is at such a precarious situation suddenly from being one of the better teams in the competition. That then they need their big guys to perform, and Ashwin certainly is one of them. And with those two left-handers looking in decent form, could have a big say in the game.
Yeah, looks like an important phase of that of the game whenever it does come up, Tom. Ashwin against the two lefties up top.
Yeah, look, it's the perfect matchup, isn't it? We know that he's a very good bowler, period, but particularly against left-handed batsmen. The other thing to consider is that Ashwin is at his most effective in power play overs historically, and it's certainly no different than with this season, given he's taken 6 wickets in power play overs. Just with the 9 overs he's bowled in that first 6 at a very good economy of 7. So that tells you enough that, look, it's a no-brainer. You've got to get him in there early. A lot of teams do sort of try to work those matchups as effectively as possible, but this is one that really does stand out.
All right, Tom Moody, Ajit Agarkar, thank you very much for looking ahead to this game between Delhi and Mumbai on Whirlpool Presents ESPN Cricinfo T20 Timeout, powered by Dell.